what's going on here in the oil field. A lot of you guys want to get into this space. A lot of you guys want to be in the water hauling game. A lot of you guys want to either be subcontractors or contractors out here, or you're trying to just get a job. There's a lot of noise out there on what's going on with oil. I will say that the last 2 years have been very difficult for a lot of people in this space. There's been a lot of merging. There's been decrease on oil price. You got to think, 3 years ago, we had what, $110 a barrel, and now we're sitting around that $60 mark. So it has been decimating a lot of people. We have gone from 50 rigs out there to barely 25 to 30 rigs out there. And for all you guys that don't know what that means, you can really understand how much production and how much job opportunity there is if you go and see the rig count for the state that you're trying to work in. Let's say Texas or Oklahoma or Pennsylvania. North Dakota is where we like to choose, but I'm going to let you know that you go on and you see the rig count. In the last couple of years, we've seen almost half of the drilling rigs leave the Bakken. So basically half of the work, in a sense, has left. So that's a good way to understand that and to see that. Now, I know with some of the videos back in the day with the Bakken brothers, they said that 25 was going to be a banger year. 2024 should have been a banger year. It was not that way, but I'll let you know this, that many people still are out here making unbelievable amounts of money, even though work has been low and slow. A lot of the people that aren't working right now, or let's say in the trucking business, if they don't have a lot of jobs going on or they're not growing their fleet, it's for a reason. Not the oil field getting low on work or anything like that. For the people that have 20, 30, 40 trucks out there, they have probably definitely minimized. But it is also due to what oil companies they're working with. But the guys out there that have 3 or 5, I'm telling you right now, if I wanted to put my own trucks on, okay, put it onto oil field somehow, I'm telling you right now, I could get 20 trucks rolling tomorrow. There are contractors like you want to do, for being subcontractors like you want to do, buying a truck, owning your own trucks, things like that, not getting your own MSAs or being in the game in that way. There's enough opportunity. Today, there's probably about 1,000 owner-operators out there. So what's stopping you from having 20 of those spots? It doesn't make sense. But a lot of these people, they're just so trash at what they do and their mentality, and they've burned so many bridges that they can't get anybody to work with them. You got all the people. So when the oil field gets low like this on work, it basically squeezes down to the best of the best in a sense. I'm not saying that you can be trash and not work, and not have the opportunity to work. I'm just letting you know that basically it's only the best of the best. By the end of 26, we're going to know who's going to be here or not. Like the group of guys that have been out here basically for the last 3-4 years after COVID. By the end of 2026, we're going to know who's really alive and who did a good job and who did what. Even a lot of people that jumped into the scene right after COVID, when it exploded in 21, 22, 23, and even in 24, okay? Came into the scene and they're killing it, all right? Guys that you'd look at and say, how do they have 6, 8, 10 trucks? How is that possible? And those guys today, because they are trash at either their attitude, the way they did business, either they're stealing, whatever it was, all right, it comes to light during times like this. So a lot of those guys that did have 6 trucks only have 1 or none. A lot of those guys that did have 20 trucks out there either have only 10 left or 5 going. A lot of the guys that had 5 or just 1 truck going aren't even here anymore. I remember a couple years ago, all right, I was talking to the Bakken brothers. A couple years ago, they could snap their fingers for 40 trucks to be able to come help them on whatever jobs. Now they can barely snap their fingers for 5 trucks. Not that they've done bad business. Not that a lot of these trucking companies have done bad business. It's just that there's not a lot of people out here anymore. So remember the other day, because I also own a trucking company, I remember the other day we had some things that popped up and we needed a lot of help. And me and my group, we ended up calling everybody. We called so many people out there. I'm not going to drop too many names right now, but called big companies and asked them for just 1 truck. And I remember it was on a colder night. It was on a difficult night, of course, but it was around 11 o'clock at night. And I remember a year ago, that would have been simple. And we actually needed like 7 trucks, but when we called for those trucks from the bigger trucking companies and when I say bigger trucks, they didn't have anybody to give. Now, granted, it's a Christmas holiday, it's things like that, but still, that is crazy. And why I'm making this video is I'm letting you guys know that are getting into this space that we're coming to that same shift that hit us in COVID, that same shift that hit us in 2015. It dropped off 14, 15, 16, and then all of a sudden it felt like a boom, 16, end of 16, 17, 18, 19. We're hitting back in COVID, it annihilated everything. So that's why it felt like such a great time to get in, and why so many people were able, on the Bakken brothers, when they came out here, they were dipshits, they were idiots. And they came out, and from 21 to like, they were able to build a fleet of almost 10 trucks. Those kids didn't deserve it. They didn't know what they were really doing, but it was because there was so much work and such a deficit for truckers that they were able to just blow up like that. Now they're doing pretty decent, and there's a lot of other people that still did well as well, and they grew their fleet and they're still in the game. I'm just letting you know that we're hitting that paradigm shift, if you would. All right, so, and mark my words, and I'll make another video to show you guys a little bit of some proof, but mark my words, in the next 90 days to 4 months, we only have what we have. And remember, I just told you there's only 25, 27 drilling rigs today out there right now. When they go back to average production, when they go trying to get back and crawl on their feet to get up to 40 rigs, to 50 rigs, and if something incredible happens and the oil just pops way off and we're back at 60 and 70 rigs, there's only enough people right now to take care of half of what we were doing. So when they just try to get back to average, which is about 50 rigs. That's an average. That's not even killing it, all right? Now, granted, I know back in the day it was about 250 drilling rigs, but you got to understand, I'll explain this into a different video, but you got to understand that they're punching wells almost daily now compared to being on one well for 30 days. Back, they needed 250 drilling rigs because they were trying to do so much, but what they could do with 30 drilling rigs, they can kind of with 2 today. So you got to remember that. But I'm just letting you guys know that we're finally starting to hit that point where we're going to need a lot of help. All you guys that are over the road, all you guys that are sitting there and your jobs are basically getting taken over by AI, all you people out there with a CDL, I'm telling you, all that money that, let's say, the Bakken brothers on their videos used to talk about, all that money, $15,000, as a company driver, $15,000 a month, $50,000 a month with your own rig, all that money is going to get even easier to make in the next 90 days, and then probably for the next 3 years. We have another 3-year explosion that's coming up, and I just wanted to make this video to let you guys know what I've seen. The proof is there. I just told you, I've called the bigger companies that have 20 trucks or more, and they can't give people trucks. They're having a tough time. 2 years ago, we used to be able to snap our fingers to get 40 plus trucks. Now today, we can barely get 5. And it's not like I'm somebody that doesn't know anybody around here. Who am I? I'm just some regular guy just trying to let you know what the game is out here. But I'm letting you know that I am extremely connected to where there's not many people out here I do not know. So like myself on a high horse, who gives a fuck? Fuck me. I'm just letting you know that I am somebody that's extremely resourceful and I know how to get a lot of trucks. And like I said, we had a tough time the other day. And it's not because people are getting screwed over or not getting paid or didn't make enough money in the last couple of years. No, it's just, well, first off, they did make too much money and they didn't know how to manage it. And they fucked off and they spent so much by trying to grow their fleets, give their wife new houses, and live this abundant lifestyle like if it wasn't going to slow up a little bit. And now they're in positions where they've overspent. The banks are coming for all their shit. Basically, they're clean. The oil field, when it gets low like this, it comes and cleans house for all the retards, for all the idiots out there that couldn't figure it out. All right? And what's left is either A, the people that did it right, were smart about their money, didn't blow it all, kept themselves alive, did a good job, didn't steal, all right? Didn't get caught up in some dumb shit There's a lot of superintendents out here getting fired, and they're getting caught, paying off trucking companies or getting paid off by trucking companies and other companies, and they've got boats in their driveway, and their wife was an accountant for some trucking company, and that's how I got off. There's a lot of cleaning house going on. I love these times. And so there's either those people that aren't caught up in all that bullshit, or honest, doing a good job, being smart with their money, and then the new people coming in. The new, hungry, ambitious people coming in are all that's going to be left. I'm telling you, go ahead, and if you know anybody out here, you can talk to them about it. It's what's happening. Give it to about 90 days, and you're going to see a big difference out here. Midsummer, it's going to start getting crazy, and in the next 3 years, you're going to have the best opportunities to jump into this business, get away from the rat race in the United States and all over the world, where basically AI is taking over everybody's jobs, and come and start an actual career that is not replaceable. You're not going to get some AI or some automated truck to come out here in these lease roads and come out here and do what water haulers and oil haulers do, and flatbedders, and anybody that's out here is pretty much safe. I'm not saying the workers, the pumpers and the company men and they're not all safe. Trust me, automation's coming for their jobs first. We're going to be the last little bit, the workover rigs, the flowback teams, the people that are actually physically providing something. If you're just watching over stuff, that's going to get taken real quick. All right, I already know company men that are sitting there watching 3 operations in the computer screens in an office in Texas. So they just replaced 3 company men in operations and put 1 in charge of those 3 operations, and they're replacing those guys. There are a lot of jobs out here that are going to get replaced, but transportation cannot. And you might say, well, what about pipeline? What about this? There's zoning for it. There's certain things that make it impossible. There's certain fluids that just can't be pipeline. You name it. There's rigs that go onto the wellheads and they have to fix them and they need trucks. Listen, I'm telling you, all the trucks they could possibly get rid of have almost been completely deleted. Yes, from 10 years ago, 90% of trucks have been deleted. That's about all they can do. They can't get much smarter than that. So I'm just letting you guys know, for all you cats that are trying to come out here and do this water hauling business, make your own business, I was just giving you guys little sprinkles of why I believe this year is the year for you guys to get together and to figure it out and get out here and start making a name for yourself. Because when it explodes, you don't want to miss out. A lot of us have missed out in the last couple of years. A lot of us missed out back 16, 17, 18, and 19. A lot of us wish we were there back in the boom, all right? 11, 12, 13, 14. Those unbelievable times. But you don't have to miss out on this one. I'm just letting you know, from boots on the ground, what's going on out here, so that you guys can start gathering your things, start figuring it out. And don't worry, on this channel, we're going to show you everything you need to know. And we're going to help you with all the tools and resources possible so that we can get some fresh meat out here, some new ambition. A lot of these men, they've lost hope. They're worthless. They're actually making our jobs harder. These guys that don't care, that are lazy, made too much money, and that have no hope, they don't want to get out there in -20 or -40. We can't make guys move anymore for $2,000 a day. It's almost like pulling teeth to get a man to get in his truck, to go out there to make a $2,000 day because he lost hope. These guys are hopeless. We need to go out with the old, in with the new. Help us all get there. We'll see you when you get here.